Hello and welcome everyone to a Sacred Symbols reading. It is Sunday, June 12th, 2022, and I'm Desiree DeMars, your host. And no announcements today. I think I'm going to just dive right into the reading. I am going to actually include in this recording some rattling. Just a short amount and an attunement so we can focus on our intention. So if you please join me, I'd like you to close your eyes and take a few deep breaths, tuning into your body, your presence in the room, wherever you are. And just imagining with each breath, if you can take a couple at least, through the nose, in through the nose, out through the mouth. This will facilitate relaxing your jaw, neck, and shoulders. And allow your tailbone to just sink gently down into the cushion or the chair that you're resting on. Feet on the ground. And just begin to notice your awareness of your surroundings expanding. And imagine a brilliant white light coming down from the heavens and anchoring you all the way down to the center of the earth. Grounded and expanded. And as that energy from the earth comes back up from that beautiful iron molten core of Pachamama, feel that energy being activated within you at the base of your spine, flowing up through all of your chakras, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. And with that, visualize the activation of the emotional frequencies aligned with those, aligned with the colors. We have joy, peace, strength, courage at the heart, gratitude, humility, and divine love. And just take that in, imagining those resonant frequencies are expanding outward into the room and even further out past the room, through the building that you're in, the structure that you're sitting in, and out onto the land where our ancestors once walked. And to all of those creatures, both great and small, who make up the evolutionary process of our ancestors. Just imagine your conscious awareness reconnecting with that. And then imagine your toroidal field like a fountain that flows up, out over the top of your head and expanding down, not just three-dimensional, but holographic, infinite and eternal. The light within our bones, the light within every cell of our body, the electromagnetic field that we are shining forth with every breath, every step we take. And just feel your frequency expanding and allow the heart chakra to align or come into coherence with the brain, with those higher frequencies within the brain and around the brain. And feel your heart fill with gratitude for this opportunity, this experience of simply being in your own light, in your own power, in your own medicine. Knowing that simply by being aware activates that sometimes sleeping power or resting power that resides within you. It is now activated and amplified. And then feeling a beautiful golden light coming down from the heavens and again running through your central channel, activating the memory of the alchemist that you are by nature, the creator that you are, the creator that creates a life you love, health and vitality. It activates your true nature and purpose. And it becomes the container for you being the predominant creative force in your life. And with the next breath, let's together sit in this I am presence of our intention for whatever it is that resonates, that's you're really feeling in your heart today. Let yourself be aware of that heart presence, your heart's desire, the intention for today, for your reading, and for the attention of being fully present, fully surrendered to the moment so that you get exactly what you intended to receive today from this reading. And then I'll just allow that to be, let it to flow and circulate and move along with the greater field of the holo movement that is a part of this great cosmo or this cosmic field, the Akash, the all that is. And allow your awareness to expand even further with each breath as we call in all of the directions, the east, the south, the west, the north, above, below, and the middle. All of the elementals, earth, air, fire, water, ether, plasma, neutrinos, gammas, and all those elements yet unknown to man. Come and be with us as we sit in a sacred circle together, connected through our intention, our attention, and the movement, the flow that is infinite and eternal of these higher truths, of this wisdom and guidance that's coming through our sacred symbols today. Come and be with us, all of our guides, angels, teachers, guardians, the seen and the unseen, the magical and the mystical, the two-legged, the four-legged, the many-legged, the winged ones, the finned ones, the creepy crawlers. All those things, just great and small, simple and complex, internal and external. Bring all these polarities together in a unified field of awareness within yourself. And to all of our ancestors, those who've gone before us, lived a good life and transcended and are now here working on our behalf, being present here for our intention, aligning with our attention, and allowing for flow, creative movement, right? Creative movement. And giving us the courage, our open heart, lending us courage to shift moment to moment without judgment, in surrender, in allowance of all that is. And may these benefits and these expanded awarenesses not only benefit us today, but benefit all those we come in contact with. In full faith, so be it. Aho. And I'll just allow the rattling. I hope the noise cancellation is not on. And you can enjoy the sound of the rattle, but if not, you can just imagine. Imagine the wind in the trees, the birds chirping in the background. Whatever it is that brings you into this alpha theta state, this state of superconscious awareness. May this be a blessing for the symbols today. And I'm going to invite you to blow 3 times into the basket. Let me see if I can get a little more. There we go. I'm not getting the computer in. So, with me, blow 3 times into the basket. With your intention, with your attention, with all your heart. And may these words of wisdom, this channeling today, be resonant with the highest frequency of light and for the greatest good of all. Okay. We did have one piece that flew off. I'm not sure I could locate it. Let me see if I could just see where it landed. Because I'm curious about what it is myself. Well, oh, I see it. Okay. Huh. So the piece that flew off, very interesting, is a little red stone that represents passion. It's very interesting. Just take that to heart. In fact, I was thinking about that a lot this morning, about just how to stay in these higher frequencies naturally, have it become a habit. And I keep coming around to this idea of, doing everything from the heart, or as much as you can from the heart, so that you're coming from, and whatever you're creating or co-creating is coming from a higher frequency of divine love. Because I heard somebody say last week that if you notice, whatever you have created in fear will then create a field for you, or a resonant field of challenges or experiences that are based in fear. And that's what you'll have to deal with or confront or align with or just pay closer attention to. Versus if it's created in love, well, then you'll be receiving that. So that is interesting. Getting chills now as I look here. The piece that's closest to me is this little shell, a little petrified shell that represents frequency. So, I would say this idea of whatever we're feeling passion for is bringing us into the highest resonant frequency, right? And on a creative level, I would say, I'm saying this is interesting. We have Father here, passion. So the masculine, if we feel in alignment with our action or our masculine aspects of self, then we're creating from a higher frequency. So here's our intention. So whatever your intention was today, this is really beautiful and fascinating. As always, we have this piece of coral, and it's reaching outward into the spiral here, or into the circle. And closest to it is horse, our little Celtic knot in the heart. And on the other side, we have a fork in the road. So that's interesting, an interesting kind of juxtaposition of, and noticing that the horse is moving forward in toward the heart. And actually, this is fascinating. This bone is facing inward also towards the same V shape of the coral. So it's almost like they're here. From my end, they're like creating almost a W. From your end, it would probably look like an M, because you would be sitting here in a reading. So course, movement toward this divine union with the self, with self-love, the love of self. And we also have Buddha, and he's kind of on his side, which is about maybe seeing both sides of the coin, right? Seeing both sides of the situation, being in surrender, right? Maybe Buddha, we could say much of his teaching was about surrendering even to the suffering, right? Not excluding anything. And so fascinating. And here you are. Here we are. This is us here too. So our intention is very close to our heart, isn't it? It's resonating with something about our passion. In fact, here is our heart, not that far away, speaking our truth during this time of great transition here on the earth plane. Important to remember, here's the star, the little jade star of our star nations. And here's another star. So interesting. We're getting little pairs today. And this is Mars. This is really mirroring this idea of the masculine, the forward movement, the activation, the Aryan energy, right? Action. But this shell, the two shells next to this idea, the Mars energy, is really about, seeing what has been kind of held back, locked up, invisible, inaccessible. So if there's some aspect of your energy that you've been feeling like has not been accessible for you, one thing you might do here, the information around that is to look at what is sacred, to take moments during your day to, with your breath, to engage in an aspect of being that we call innocence, right? That childlike awe and wonder. Because when we're in that place, then whatever is hidden just becomes affected or embraced by the light, by this greater field of our spiritual evolution, right? And then through that, we gain clarity of mind. We can transform, we can transfigure. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. And we have Eagle Condor here with this idea of what is sacred, that, if we rest in this place of being in the, or observing, acknowledging the sacred, this transfiguration process then is easy. It actually becomes a process of wishing. Here's our little wish coin with the star again. We've got like 3 stars here. It's very interesting. So the star nations, the star, the wish that we have, moving forward toward that wish. And we also have on the back of Eagle Condor, we have a timekeeper. Oh, this is interesting. I guess, we're going to come into full moon soon and coming into solstice time. And this is interesting because the timekeepers are just beautifully set up here where one is up and one is down, showing that there's movement. There's movement for transition, transformation, transfiguration on every level. I would say it's like a triple whammy. In fact, here's another 3. So it's like the sacred triangle of transformation on every level, right? The sacred trinity that resides within us. And what is important in this process that's unfolding here and now is speaking our truth. And really, it's about speaking our truth to ourselves, right? So that we can live our truth. And it's not just words, it's deeds, it's actions. For we know that behavior is the highest form of communication, right? We've all had experiences where and probably experimented, made me think of, like, when you can say to the dog, "Oh, you're terrible," in this really sweet voice, and they can wag their tail. But if you're like, "You're a good dog," they probably aren't going to be very responsive. And people are the same. So it's like our attunement, our atonement to our higher frequencies on all levels, not just one. And we have Venus here, truth, love, and beauty, resting on the divine feminine, abundance, and, calling in what it is we want, becoming the creator of our passion and what we deem sacred. And this, what I was going to say about Eagle Condor, it's resting on ceremony. Just in simple ceremony. It doesn't have to be complicated, but to take a breath, to be in the moment, to be present, and to be in a state of innocence, awe, and wonder about all of it. Even when we get snagged up. And that's how we stay in the heart, right? When we feel challenged, or, maybe we feel there are things that are out of our control. We're at work and we don't enjoy the people that we're around, or some aspect or something about the environment. But in order to stay in the heart field, just allow and accept. And, one of the easiest places we can practice that is in ceremony, is in our daily practice, is our meditation. Yes. And then what we'll experience from that is a rebirth, a rebirthing of our understanding, right? Because on some level, we're all going through this heart, the jade, or turquoise heart, is really about, a soul remembering. It could be a soul retrieval, but it's a soul remembering. I see it more like a remembering now. For many years, I did soul retrievals, and they're wonderful, for claiming parts and aspects and trauma. But the truth is that soul retrieval can happen with every breath within us, as a soul remembering who we are as the light, right? Who we are as the light, the higher frequencies. That's what this little gold basket represents. The ascended masters, the angelic realms, our superconscious awareness of things. Yes, indeed. This is true. And, I would say we know that at times, when we're trying to be, or we are connected to our passion, and maybe it feels more like it's moving, it's a little elusive, just tap into your emotions, because, just be aware of how you're feeling. I know I have to remind myself of that. The emotions, here's deer toe, that's pure innocence. Here's the angelic realm, right? The higher levels of compassion and understanding, and Buddha facing up. belly up, right? Here is our third eye and our crown chakra. So it's really important. If any of this is resonating with you and has some aspect of a partner, or that's part of your inquiry today, I would say here we have the partner is actually facing down. They're not open. Do you see the difference? Here's you. Here would be the partner, the person, somebody you're in relationship with. They're facing down, and they're actually facing down on top of um, one of the bones that represents the paternal lineage, and it's a child. So, that can be interpreted as a real person, but we can also say, if we're looking at the other, someone else or another person in our life, we can look at it as maybe you're at a fork in the road with this person here, right? And so using your higher intelligence, seeing them from this higher state of mind with the third eye, and then allowing your higher wisdom, tapping in. Maybe that's what they are even trying to do. They're surrounded by these elements here, right? And the soul remembering. So it's not only an aspect of something influencing them, but also you. And they're very close together. And just know when I say up and down, I don't mean like a positive or a negative. Look at it like receptive. When it's facing up, it's open, it's receptive. When it's facing down, it's a little more internal, right? A little more introspective, not so externalized, more internalized. So just notice that, and notice if it has anything to do with home. I'm going to guess it might be somebody close to home, because here's the deer toe tip that has to do with home. So just know that the answer or the solution to something that you're seeking about resolution, conflict, an issue, a challenge would be to shift yourself into a state of innocence. Can you be in a state of innocence and allowance, and purely allow them to be who they are, knowing they are in their process too, just as you are? And I think it's something, I'm getting chills as I say this, back to the timekeepers. It's something that's moving and shifting and doesn't have that much time to kind of unfold or fulfill its completion. So just know that that's moving. It's fluid. It may be challenging. It may be emotional, but it's moving. So just call in, right? The abundance that you have of whatever is needed. When I say abundance, it doesn't have to be finances. It can be, but the abundance of resources that you have might be another person, might be a coach, might be a loved one, a dear friend that you can confide in, but you can also reach out and dip into those resources. And as we move forward, we're looking at Pachamama, um, the three, as I said, around the home. This is interesting, creativity. And we have a little collection of planets. So there's something around creativity that's really being amplified. Here's the sun, and who do we have here? Oh, we have Saturn, which is very interesting, and we have the moon. They're side by side, Saturn and the moon, and sun, Saturn, moon, sun, and Jupiter. So whatever this is around your creativity, the creative life force within you is really being amplified right now. And I would guess that you may be feeling extra sensitive to these photonic waves of light frequencies that we're receiving, and these solar activity that's been amplified. And just know that that is bringing forward a kind of an internal, I've been feeling some of this recently, and here it is at the very center, right, is kind of reviewing the blueprint. Been asking my guides during my meditation in the morning, my practice of, what is it I need to know right now? Sometimes we just need some guidance about the right now, the present, right? Not some big, huge goal or wish that we have, but the present. And this is saying that this half shell, this fan shell, is representative of our blueprint. The blueprint, our work in the world, right? The work in the world. It's time to receive it, right? To receive the knowledge from the blueprint and create something that has not yet been created. Not yet been created. And now I realize I've passed some of the ancestors and I haven't really spoken about them other than the young paternal and the father. But here's mother touching the moon. You know, this is directly related to the emotions. So allowing the emotions to flow freely. And here are the great, 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 greats, all the greats on the paternal side of your lineage. And here's grandmother, your father's mother, paternal grandmother, mother, not yet created, the great ones. And here's grandmother on the maternal lineage. So the two grandmothers kind of here embracing this idea of the blueprint, right? Some aspect of blueprint. I would say I'm getting chills now just thinking that. So just be aware, because about the work in the world or what you're really doing in the world, or remembering, the soul remembering, there's a piece that we're now ready to receive. There's something that's bubbling up from the surface. I feel it's being amplified now. And here we go. And here's our DNA, which is all about, you know, what is being. This little piece of red coral is about DNA. And that's the key. How interesting. The key, the young adult. So that masculine, just for a moment, let's just have a premise, you know, a working premise that it might not be true, and it might not be true for everyone. But what if there was something about creativity, movement, right, of the masculine, all the way down through the greats, the lineage on your father's side, because this seems so important here. We've got, like, you know, a circle here, or a quadrangle of ancestors on the paternal, or in the paternal lineage here. And then we have the grandmother kind of being the bridge, right? The bridge into the rest of the reading, which is fascinating. But here we have at the heart our expression. This is key, right? This is our throat chakra, or the emotion of gratitude, right? Having gratitude, that's the reminder. Having gratitude, and these are the ancient ones on the paternal side again. So big masculine energy here. And then this beautiful feminine bridge about gratitude. So expressing your gratitude. If we were going back to, is there a coworker? Is there a partner? Is there somebody, a friend, a neighbor that you're feeling some kind of fork in the road with, or some kind of something that's reflecting this idea of a soul remembering on some level? Just know, here I would say the wisdom in this is that, you know, there's something really, it's much greater here than the individual. Oh, and this is beautiful. So this is really amplifying this thought that I just had, because here are the ancient ones I said on the paternal line, and here are the ancient ones of the maternal line. And they are both touching this shell that represents all that is, the great mystery, right? So, you know, a part of surrendering is realizing that in this lifetime, right now, we are human, we are a spirit, we are light having a human experience. And so, what's important to remember when we can't quite see, feel, or understand in a linear fashion what's going on, when we're kind of feel like we're in the mix of the mystery, is to go back to the vision, right? Recall the vision and what you have for your vision of relationship, of soul remembering, where you feel you want to evolve or move forward to, into. into this place or this idea of what is not yet created, just remember that sometimes it is not every part of it is seen, right? It's just a shadow. It's just a slight inkling, a feeling, right, about it. And this is Pluto. So, this makes total sense with we are being affected. I think I heard astrologically through Pam Gregory, who I love, is that Pluto, gosh, are we going to be going direct? Maybe we've been in retrograde. It's been in retrograde. I will go back. I'll see if I can find that statement that she made, but just knowing that there's huge Plutonian influences, which means we have to surrender. Really, there's no way. It's like something greater. It's like the fact that Gaia herself or the Earth itself is having its own evolutionary process. It's not just us, it's everything here on the planet. So there has to be a level of surrender to this transformation that's happening because it's so much greater. It's part of the spiral of life, right? The evolutionary process of life. And what's key, though, what's important is to be grounded in your expression, right? This is talking stick, and this is the earth, or earth grounded. It's the earth element. Being grounded, coming from your place of expression or asking questions. I mean, sometimes that's a great way to be grounded in expression, is to ask questions versus feeling that you know or have to know everything and say everything from that perspective, but to look at it from, again, that innocence, right? The innocence, the unknown, the sacred place of the journey that is in awe and wonder, that part of yourself, and reflect on that. This is beautiful. There's like a double, in fact, a triple. Here we go again. Look at the shape. We have this oval, an oval, oval, and inside we have this idea of medicine or an amulet, a power bag, right? So be your own medicine. Be your own medicine. Really tap into the truth of your own medicine, because that's where the power is, right? And it's there in every breath, every present moment. And out here on the outskirts, we've got the shaman and the root chakra. I'm feeling pretty grounded today, and you may be feeling that. And that's where the power is. Here's the power directly in front of you. Directly in front of you, right? How beautiful. And we've got, I think this is Mercury. Yeah, Mercury in the palm of your hand. Wow. So the words, the expression, back to what I was picking up here about talking stick and reflecting on this higher level of wisdom. In fact, here we have another ring. It's the mind. It's about balance of mind. That's how we can be in balance with the mind. We know the monkey mind wants to just support us in being right all the time and, helping us achieve whatever it is we've achieved through the known or the experiences that we've had. But the truth is, the higher mind really, or sometimes I would say the lower mind, the unconscious, we know the unconscious. I mean, I almost feel like that's kind of what Pluto here is saying, and Pluto is right on top of um, the grandfather, your grandfather on your father's side, paternal grandfather. It's like, I imagine there's a healing happening there. There's a transformation happening there right now in this paternal line. And as far back as even not going that far back, but just going as far back as the grandfather, your father's father. Just notice if this is possibly one of the people that there's something about them, or there's just something you see in them, or maybe you see in a child that is related to them in this relationship that's going through some kind of transformation or a soul remembering. And this idea of Mercury in the hand, again, is like, how do you want to express yourself? How do you want to use this passion, this wisdom, this aspect of your higher self and bring it out into the world, right? Bring it into physical manifestation. Beautiful, so beautiful. And here's drum, the heartbeat. Staying in the heart again, a reminder, here's the heart, here's the drum. The drum being the representation of the heartbeat of our collective, right? Of our collective energy. And then just coming right back around. Wow, that was beautiful. What a beautiful cycle or circle for a reading today. And I would say, as you know, the greater circle, here's the eye of God. And it's resting on this piece, a little like meteorite, that's all about, it's saying kind of that same thing. It's on its side and it's saying, there's two sides. This is interesting. I love this saying. It's a quote I think I read somewhere, that there are two sides to every coin. Actually, three. There are three sides to every coin. One side and its opposite, and then the edge where you can see both, which is really where the power is. I think this is getting back to this idea of where the power is. The power is in seeing both sides, being in the middle, in the higher place on the edge, right? The razor's edge, right? That's where the magic is. I'm getting chills. So see if you can allow yourself this week to walk on the razor's edge and be in that higher place without judgment, without preconceived ideas, without allowing the unconscious to be triggered and create an impulse in the self-conscious, but to stay in the field of the greater awareness, right? The superconscious, and seeing the big picture of it all, because the truth is we're all on the same journey together, right? And even Frog we have here today on her side, just saying, here's introspection, Bear. We're in this together. This is a collective effort. And if we stay in this collective, a higher frequency of the collective, and stay focused on that, we can change the world, right? We are changing the world when we do that. We can breathe on land and we can breathe on the water. That's our beautiful amphibian power animal, right? Speaking to us, which I noticed power animal was over here right next to the blueprint, so there you go. Allow the power animals that come into your life. Just notice what critters come into your life, what you see, what you hear, the messages you get from them, and know that they are guiding you always, right? And they are in process too with us within the context of this great mystery. And what's at the deep center of all of it is to express your gratitude. Be in awe and wonder. That is key. I feel so moved by that. That is key to whatever we feel is locked or blocked or hidden, right? Be in gratitude. That's how we shift out of, sometimes when we're feeling pain or suffering, when we're feeling lost or confused. I say, I try to remind myself that one of the best ways is to be in gratitude. Just shift into a place of gratitude, and then your frequency completely shifts. It just does. It's effortless, right? Then it's effortless. Then you're in flow. You're in the holo movement of the greater field of awareness. Wow, so thank you. I am so grateful for this opportunity to offer this reading today for you, my friends who are watching, whoever you might share it with, and for myself. What a blessing. I feel gratitude for all of it, and and I look forward to meeting again next week through the sacred symbols. In full faith, so be it. Aho.